Hi, Flosstube. It's Marlene calling. It's Marlene from Pastime Pieces. Um, I do not a regular Flosstube at all, but today I thought I'd do a WIP parade of some of the projects that I've been working on in the last while. I am in Blenheim, Ontario, Canada, which is in southwestern Ontario. We're about an hour from Detroit, 2.5 hours from Toronto. Um, I have a quilt shop here. Well, quilt shop, wool applique, and cross stitch shop. The cross stitch I've probably done for almost 2 years, and the wool applique I've always done, and a quilt shop. So yeah, I'll list my info below. So if any of the whips that you see, you think that you might be interested in, you can find it probably in my shop. I will kit up anything that you're interested in. I do carry some kits, and I'm working on doing more of that as I bring some of the things to some of the shows. Today is August 20th, 2023. It's actually not too bad outside. We're not getting the heat that a lot of the other places are getting. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 29 degrees Celsius, which is in the 80s Fahrenheit, but actually it hasn't been too bad. Just a little update, since some of you kind of follow me on Facebook and things. It's been a crazy last little while. Our son and his wife, Michael and Megan, were expecting twins in September, and they decided to come in July, I guess it would be. They were 8 weeks early. They're doing fine. They're still in the hospital. They're hoping to come home soon. They were born 3.5, like just over 3.5 pounds and close to 4 pounds. With any preemie, there's often lung issues, and that has been one of the things that they've been struggling with. Both babies are off of CPAPs now, and I think they just get little whiffs of oxygen. I think for the most part they're breathing on their own. They would be home, except that they don't quite have enough stamina to get through the feedings and not be exhausted and wake up for the next feeding. So they're just waiting for them to build up a little more strength, and then they will go home. Their names are Molly and Sophie. Only just recently have we been able to see their faces because they've been on all the breathing mechanisms and the CPAPs. Michael and Megan, they're there almost all the time. So when they're clean, like bathing them or adjusting or changing things when the CPAPs are off, then they can see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they look alike or not look alike. But yeah, it's been fun. This all happened a week before we were leaving to go to Scotland, which we did for a week, which was fantastic. Scotland is beautiful. We actually had really good weather considering Scotland rains almost all the time. We got lots of sunny days, so we were able to see the scenery really well. And then our daughter lives in England, so then we traveled by train to England, stayed there for a couple days, and then went 4 days with them to Paris. And so we did all the major sightseeing in Paris, and then came back to England and flew home. So we were gone for 2.5 weeks, which was really, really nice. Weren't able to see the babies on the way home from the airport because Sophie ended up in isolation with they thought maybe a virus, but after a lot of tests, they found out that it was just a lot of sneezing and coughing for nothing, I guess. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to see them this week. They're in separate, like they're in a tiny little room in the hospital. Michael and Megan have a sleep room there so that they can feed the babies anytime they wake up. So Michael said there's just not a lot of room there, so we'll probably just wait till they get home, and then maybe we'll get to hold them finally. So lots of exciting news there. Just well, they were prepared. They actually had a lot of things in place. She just ended up quitting work the day before she went into labor, so she didn't get a chance to do some final organizing, but they did do a lot of prep ahead of time, just in case, and so that was really good that they did that. Okay, so off to WIP, all my WIPs. I never thought really that I would work on more than one project. That wasn't the case in the past. I always kind of stitched as a teenager and then definitely stitched a lot in the 2000s, and a little bit before that, because I have one of my oldest projects, which I'll show at the end. The price tag on it, it depends on what numerical order they put the month and the day and the year. So it's either 2005 or 2008. Yeah, I kind of came across that and thought, oh, yeah, I got to finish that. It's a Bent Creek project. The other ones I just kind of started, and then sometimes for the season, it's kind of the season was over, so I thought, okay, didn't quite get it done, so I'll tuck it away and get back to it later. But anyways, I don't know how many I have. I would say 20, maybe less than 20, I think. So here goes. The first one, I have shown this one on Flosstube before. This is Cricut Collection January, and I worked really hard on it when I was in Florida this past January, thinking, okay, I want to get it done, but there's a lot of stitching. It's almost like one whole design in every letter. So this is my progress. I'll just slide it along there. So I'm getting close. So I mean, stick with it. Do I love it? Like, not as much as I like some of my other projects. These are angels inside the J, and for all the stitching that you do, it doesn't really show up that much. So I may backstitch around just to kind of give them some definition. But otherwise, yeah, if you're doing all that and you can't even see the angel. So either should have went with a darker linen probably. That might have helped. It's nice. Well, it's a Lugana. It was a 28 count and it's called Olympia, but it's just a nice mottled tan sort of color, and I like working on it because it's just very soft and has a lot of structure to it, so your stitches kind of stay nice. So I do like that about it, but yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle to pick this one up, but it's close. So hopefully by January I can get that one finished. Oh, sorry for the zippers and stuff, but it's like everyone says, like if I don't put all this back together again, I'll never figure out what goes to what. It took me a couple days just to get this part organized. Yeah, some of these are ones that, are really, really close. So this is the Lord's Blessing. This is my just rough copy here. Love this. It's by Imaginating. Diane Arthurs. But yeah, just kind of love the chunky leaves and stuff. And stitched out, it's beautiful. It looks really, really nice. So this is what it looks like. So I'm almost finished. I just have to do, they're kind of backstitched little vines that are kind of around in there. And my border didn't line up. So I just got to figure that out. And yeah, I don't think the way it is, it's going to work out. So I've got to just figure out, how I can get it to line up. Might be a stitch or two out a little bit further. I think that's second or third time I've done that border. And good thing it's only a one line border, like just a one stitch down border. But yeah, so really, really close on that one. So I'm going to keep that one out because, yeah, just one evening is probably enough to finish that and it'll look nice framed. So that's the Lord's blessing. I will try, I'm not real good at it, but I will try to link all the charts below so that you can actually just click on it and it'll bring you to the website. Don't know whether I can do that or not, but I will see if I can figure that out. Another one that kind of needs to be restarted, Needleworker. I had seen Country Stitches way back when, I don't know, because I kind of started their videos from the beginning, and she had done this and it was like, it was beautiful. I fell in love with it right away and thought, okay, I'm going to stitch that. I don't know how many times because the colors just weren't working. And this is a week's 32 count linen. And like some of the weeks, this is not as Zygarde. It's very loose. So it's almost, I stitch in hand, but I think this one I'd almost have to do in a frame just to kind of keep the stitches straight. And it's not like, I don't know, like before you know it, you're one stitch off. So I don't know how many times I've taken some of these out, and because the H ends up being too tall and one E is lower and they're all supposed to be the same height. So I think I'm going to do what I've done on other ones, is just do a running stitch all the way across if all the letters line up that way. So I always know whether I've got them in the right spot before I go on to the next letter. Switched out the colors a few times. I don't know, what's it called for? It calls for khaki mocha, polywog, roasted chestnut, caterpillar, pebble beach, and red currant. And the two colors for the needlework, I think, are, well, if you see me, we got flies everywhere. It's driving me bonkers. So if I go like that, it's because there's a fly bugging me. Caterpillar and roasted chestnut, I believe. And it's supposed to be kind of that two-tone look, but just not totally feeling it. But I think the biggest thing is that I want it to be on a little tighter linen. And this is 32 count, or it calls for 30 count, but I'm pretty sure this is 32, or it could even be 28. Maybe that's why I find it too loose too. But I think I might do it on a 36, just because I don't need a ginormous sign that says Needleworker. Plus, the bigger that is, the more it costs or more difficult it is to find a frame that works for it. Okay, so that, oh, did I say that was from Little House Needleworks? Needleworker, Little House Needleworks. But this one's definitely on the list to get back to, but it's a redo. So, okay, tuck that back in there. Let's see. This one was one that I started for Easter. And kind of, it's, yeah, just a lot more stitching than I thought. Even though it's kind of chunk stitching, but it's Happy Easter. It's by Artecy. Pinks and greens. But yeah, it's quite lots of block stitching, which it works well. The one thing about the pattern is they don't give you much on a page. It's quite large, which is nice. But then you got to really figure out, okay, where's the next page start, and does it overlap? And so I kind of need to take the time out and just tape it all together. This is when some of those programs would work on your phone. One of these days, if I'm at a retreat or something, I'm going to get someone to show me, or one of my customers to show me how that works. So this is how far I am. I changed the colors. So this is how far I am. I am working this on 36 Embellish, which is atomic fiber. color, which I really like. And I am using Purple Aster. These are the colors. Purple Aster, Lucky, and then I've got a dove in here, I think, because there's a bit of teal in some of the leaves. And then I thought I would do some of the tulips in pixie dust, which is kind of a pink. So it'll be pinks and purples with a variegated green. They use DMC and then take half the leaf and sectioned out that way. But I think I can get the same effect by using a variegated thread. So then I don't have to pay attention as much of where I got to switch it out. So that is one that I'm working on. So that was Happy Easter Floral Egg Pink. I think we have a different one, a different color, by Artecy. Let's see, which one have we got in here? Oh, I haven't really been showing my bags. I make most of my own bags. Just because I got tons of fabric. I make most of them with a vinyl front because I like that so I can see what's in the bag. Although I have made some of the fabric fronts, and actually, most times you gotta look in there anyway, because sometimes I have more than one project in a bag. So really, the fabric ones go together really quickly. And yeah, I kind of like those too now. So this is Shepherd's Bush. These are the mesh bags. This one's stitch. Really quite easy to stitch. I know a lot of people say like you stitch upside down so that you can get your hand in here. I just end up like really scrunching it like that and then stitching. If you're used to a hoop, then this might be a bit of a challenge, although the holes are very large and they don't move, like it's vinyl. I made the mistake the first time when I stitched it was that I only went over one hole thinking it was kind of like an Ada, and my stitch design ended up about that big. And I thought, well, that doesn't look right. So then I reread it and thought, oh, so it takes a bit for your brain to kind of, go over two fairly large spaces for one stitch. And I just used the 6 strands of embroidery floss, but I am in the process of ordering the DMC pearl cotton number 5 that they use for quite a few of their projects. And I really want to do one of Shepherd's Bush's stockings, and I believe they use the pearl cotton for those too. So I'm going to start collecting some of those and just see how it works, see how I like it. So in this bag, I have, oh, there you go. I forgot to put that back in. Love and Joy by Heartstring Samplers. And I don't know what struck me. I like the saying. It says, "Love and joy come to you," which I believe is a hymn. I liked the pink variegation on the light gray fabric. So that's what I did. And this one went together really well. And I literally hardly have anything left to do. So I am using Tennessee Red Clay. Oh, that's why I didn't finish it. I ran out. And I didn't have any more in the shop, so Shelby gave me a skein of hers, so that's why I'm not quite done. So this is on 32 count. What have I written? Silvery Moon. 32 count Silvery Moon. So just a really light gray. I've got some velvet, so I would really like to have a velvet back pillow. That's probably what I'll do, unless I can find that it fits in a frame that's kind of this size. So I'll play around with that for a bit. But yeah, this is really, really close. So I'm excited that, I can get that. Now that I got the thread, I can get that finished. That'll be a fun finish. So then I can show on the next Flosstube, whenever that may be. I know Shelby, she's definitely a monogamous. She just stitches one project at a time. I think maybe she has 2 on the go, but she does not have WIPs. And right now she's working on a project for a retreat that she's going to, like an exchange. and I think she's working on something else, so she doesn't really want to show that right now. Anyways, too, so yeah, that's why I thought I will do this solo. So yes, what is next? Okay, this is another one that I'll probably start over. Rosewood Manor, love her designs. I don't believe I've done anything of hers though, complete. But this was Barnyard Buttons, and I just thought it was such a cute gardening thing. And I did inquire, and I can get the buttons from her, but I'll probably just choose my own because I think they were like $84 American. So that would be like $120 Canadian just for the buttons. Now they are antique, mother of pearl, but in the big scheme of things, I'll kind of go through my button box and see what I've got and if I can find some unique buttons. It calls to do it on 32 count. I think in some ways, well, I'll show you what I've got. I'm doing it on weeks kudzu. So this is, it's like a green. It's actually a really nice green. It looks brownish there, but it's actually a really nice green. But again, because weeks is fairly flimsy, and there's some half stitches and different things, especially, I can't really show you, but there's like a whole back stitch kind of triangular box here. Triangular box, that doesn't go together. A box that's set on point. It's really, yeah, really tricky. And because it's so loose and stuff, it's just not working. So I'm going to redo this on a different linen that's got a little more body to it. And again, I think I probably should put it in a hoop of some sort. It looks like I put it in a hoop here, and I know you can get that mark there, but I pressed it. But mine's actually faded along the edges here. So I don't know. Like I know Shelby had talked about that. She runs really warm, and her hands literally will fade the linen if she's, working on it and stuff, and some of the threads because her hands are so hot. But I don't usually have that problem, but for some reason it definitely kind of faded it out around here. And I don't usually, like, it's not laying out in the sun. So I don't know with some extra pressing and stuff if that will disappear. But when I pressed it, it was definitely a light circle. So anyways, I will redo that anyways on something else. I don't know what, I mean, I really like the kudzu color. Agave is also a greenish color. She's done it on a brown, which also looks nice, and actually like even a darker pink or something since they're flowers, or blue, or actually no, because you need light colors and for the buttons, because otherwise I was going to show you another unique linen that I thought maybe would look nice on. I'll mention it later when I get to it. But I think because you have to put white buttons on, it's not going to show. So you need a fairly dark fabric in order for the buttons to show up. But that's Rosewood Manor Barnwood Buttons. Cute project, like a really neat idea. So this is just a fabric line that I had that I absolutely loved. Just purples and greens. Unfortunately, a lot of my customers aren't into purple, and it hung around for a long time. Eventually, because we even had made a quilt out of it, I think. Eventually I sold it, but I did hold some back just to make some project because I love it. I love the colors. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this one I showed as one of the projects that I took with traveling to England and to Scotland. It was the Prairie Schoolers' Father Christmas. And I had seen this one when I was at a retreat with one of Annabella's retreats, and someone had done them. and just finished them by sewing 2 pieces together and just stitching around and then fraying the edges and putting a loop on it for a tree ornament. And they were really cute that way, or even just in a bowl and stuff. Now, when I showed it, customers said like, oh, they look really nice as stand-ups, and they have done them on the back as stand-ups. Not sure if I'm going to do these in stand-ups just because they're quite small. And then I'm thinking, okay, I've got 8 grandchildren. I can just see these as being thrown around the house or whatever. So, I mean, not that pillows couldn't be either, or ornaments, but yeah, just not sure. Actually, although they would look really cute along a mantle above our fireplace. So, anyway, yeah, who knows? I haven't decided, but the decision might be if one thing, I'm not very good at leaving a lot of fabric around the edges. Because I stitch in hand, I don't need that extra fabric to kind of go around the frame. But then sometimes I'm skimping too much, and I don't need to. I mean, I've got the room. So whether I will have, I mean, I think the first 2, I probably would have enough to do stand-ups. Um, so yeah, there's the one guy. So I had him almost done before I left on my trip, and then I had the blue guy almost done as well. I think I had still a fair amount. And then the third one I'm working on. He looks a whole lot bigger, but he's not actually. Working on that one. So this is 32 natural raw, which I really, really like. And I'm just using DMC for it, and the colors are very vibrant. I did switch out the red. Is kind of oh, I don't have it here. Forget the number, but I did switch it out for 3777. I didn't really want that rusty brownie red. I wanted it to not be a vibrant red, but something that had definite red color. So I did switch out that color. Otherwise, the rest is whatever's called for. So there's 3 of my Father Christmas. They're fun to stitch. Again, there's quite a bit of stitching in there, but I hope to do a few more. There's one in blue that I'd like to do, kind of in a bluey teal. Yellow, I'd like to do the one in the gold too. Depending on how it shows up, I may darken that a little bit. We'll see. On the back, they show the golden. Yeah, there's not a lot of distinction between the gold and the background, but enough. And I'm sure in real life, they show up much better. So yeah, kind of, I would like to work on more of them, but 3 may be all that I get around to right now. So this bag is Teresa Koget's new line, Kringle. Just made a fabric project bag out of that. And I got something to talk about later that if you're paying attention, you might be interested in. So yeah, so 32 count natural raw, DMC. What do I like to stitch on? Probably 32 count works really, really well for me. 36 count works well too. 40 count is more of a challenge, more because I'm kind of lazy when it comes to prepping stuff. And 36 count 32 I can see with just readers and in just whatever light there is in the living room. I do have a light stand in one of the other chairs. I just haven't gotten the habit of really sitting there. So if I did, I probably could do 40 count way more easily. Because I do like the 40 count. I do like the using 2 strands on 36 count. I like the texture. I like that this pops up and that it's very distinct color, very saturated color. 30, like 1 strand on 36, I have done some, and I think I'm working on one. But I just keep going back to the 2 strands. And I don't have a problem with 2 strands. I'm not, I mean, I've been stitching for years and years and years, and it was never a big deal about exactly how well your stitches looked. I think just knowing and seeing more people and hearing about it, and that, oh, your stitches should all nicely lay, and yeah, like I definitely stitch them all in the same direction. But if one thread's a little bit twisted or whatever, and you need a magnifying glass to see that, then I'm not that picky. So 2 strands works just fine for me. And if there's a little bit of twist here and there, it adds to the character of the piece. None of us are perfect. So that was Prairie Schooler. The next one I started fairly recently. I wanted to start it after Nashville Market last year because I just absolutely loved them. I've just got the one here so far, but Float Like a Butterfly by Plum Street. And then they have the Heartstring Samplery one, Sting Like a Bee, but I just think they are so cute. I love Plum Street. And actually, I haven't done a whole lot of hers, but every design that she comes up with, I love. And I would say that probably Plum Street's very easily available to me. I really do like Brenda Gervais too with my needle and thread, but she just isn't interested in Canadian shops. And I have tried absolutely everything to get her to sell to me, and it's just not an option. So I can't get her charts. So yeah, so there's lots of other beautiful designers out there. So Plum Street is one, Heartstring Samplery, Bent Creek, like there's just so many, and I mean they're all really, really nice. So I don't think we need to always focus on one designer. It's nice to try other ones and stuff too. So this one I'm doing called for threads, DMC, and it's on, they suggest Vintage Country Mocha 40 count. I'm doing this on 40 count? No, I'm doing this on 36 count, I think. Yeah, I don't, here, I didn't write that down. And what did I, yeah. Oh, here it is. 36 count. And I forget which Flosstube I was watching, and they were doing it on Barb's blend, and I thought, oh, I really like that. So I thought, no. And I'm wondering if the Vintage Country Mocha, if they didn't do it on the opposite, on the mocha side, the light mocha side, and not the vintage, because it doesn't look that brown to me here, and Vintage Country Mocha is quite brown. So yeah, I really like it on the Barb's blend, 36 count, so mine will be a little bit bigger. Unusual colors for the butterfly and stuff. Like this is 3772, and who would have thought to use 3772? Like, you would think that would be a color that would be left in your box. You know, all the other colors you bought 1 or 2 skeins of the year, and this one's still sitting there. But it looks really nice in the design. I just started on that butterfly there. So, but yeah, just an unusual color, but they're just so good at picking colors that all blend together. So yeah, really like this one, nice and easy to work on. Again, because I have a cross stitch shop, I keep the whole hunk of linen until I know for sure. Because again, my lazy habit is kind of in there that I'm not 100% sure. I should, like I know you should leave 2 inches around the border and that, but I'm always nervous about cutting the fabric beforehand and hoping that it's going to fit. So yeah, if I got the fabric, I'll start in the corner and just kind of work to the outside borders and then cut it. And then that way I don't have to worry about that. I made it 3/4 of the way done and it doesn't fit. So yeah, Plum Street, Float Like a Butterfly. Love, love, love. This one I just kind of started on. I'm just this week, and it stitches up really, really quick. Another beautiful designer, Erica Michaels. Done a few of her berries. I know it's kind of glaring a little bit. This one's Sewing Bee. Thought just a nice quick project to kind of, yeah, fill in some space, something that you can see the progress on very quickly and get completed. But yeah, love her designs as well. She's got some gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. So I am stitching this on 32 count linen. Let's see, just on weeks linen. So yeah, the gold, I was worried that the gold maybe wouldn't show up real well, but it does. Now this is a bee, so I'm really close. All I've got is kind of his head and antenna and feet, but you can't really tell that there's wings there, so I may backstitch around those wings. Since his legs, I think, and his antennas are backstitched anyway, so I might as well backstitch around those wings and then it'll show up. So, and then I want to do the strawberry as well, so it's kind of like a matching set. So it shouldn't take too long to do that strawberry too. I've planned and put it on my Pastime Stitches Facebook page. So I have Pastime Pieces, which is the quilt shop, cross stitch shop, wool applique shop. We do Flosstubes, which is under Pastime Pieces. Then there's a Facebook group called Pastime Stitchers. So if you're interested, it's just answering a question. Some people just don't like to show their work just to the general public. So this is just a group of stitchers, cross stitchers who, yeah, just kind of show their works in progress, things that they're working on. And so yeah, you can post there. So where was I going with this? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, if you're interested, you can post on there. Oh, that's what I was talking about. On my Pastime Stitchers, just yesterday or last night, we're going to do a finishing class at the shop. So if anyone's got any cross stitch pieces that you love to cross stitch, but then it's like, shoot, I don't know how to make it into a pillow, or I don't know how to do a strawberry. How do I pin it on a board for framing? How do I do a flat fold? How do I make cording? So we decided that we're going to do some of that in like a workshop day. So the details are on there. It looks like so far that I might end up having to change the date because a few people are interested and that date doesn't work because we're doing it Monday, August 28th, which I think people still vacation, getting kids ready for school and all that kind of thing. So, but if you're interested, let me know and then we'll work around on the date. But we'll have all kinds of supplies there. We'll help you pick out fabric and trims and different things. And I'll bring just, a bunch of scrap stuff that I've got that, maybe it works for yours. But yeah, if you're interested in that, we hope to do more of them once we kind of get on a roll. And if space is, like becomes an issue, there's lots of places around here that I can rent that we can have a larger space. But it would be really fun to just get a bunch of people together and work. So, and you don't have to finish anything that day if you don't want to. You can just listen to the demos and bring your own stitching and stay for the day to stitch. Yeah, kind of whatever suits your fancy. So Erica Michaels Sewing Bee. Pop that one in there. This is a bag that Shelby made and was making. Yeah, I don't think she'll be ready for a while to get back into making, but it has kind of vinyl pockets and a zipper and a little spot for scissors and an Ort container. This one in here I don't know when in the world I will ever get back to this one. It'd probably be a good one to take on holidays. It is Peace by Artful Offerings, and I just love the houses and stuff along there, but boy, is that a lot of stitching. This is on smoky white 32 count. And that's as far as I got. And all that's got to be filled in. And that's only one banner, one thing here. So yeah, definitely nice, easy, quick stitching. But yeah, there's some big chunks of stitching there. Now I picked out some different blues. I'm not sure if I'm following. No, I think I switched them out a little bit. I think because they're Gentle Arts and I don't carry Gentle Arts. So I switched it over to Weeks. And the navy that I'm using, I really should have just used DMC because the variegation just doesn't show at all. Fathom, I think it's called. And there's just very, very little variegation in there. So I would either need to switch that to a different navy or just stitch that part. Looks like I probably put two fathoms because I'm going to need that. Yeah, I haven't decided because it's going to eat up a lot of thread, and then if it's not going to show any variegation, I'm also use DMC. So that will probably be, if I can find DMC that matches, I could probably just continue on and fill that in. But I will see. But I mean, I've got like a yard of linen here, so I've got to just figure out the dimensions and cut that because I don't need to just have a yard sitting in a project bag, especially of a project that I probably won't get to for a little bit. So that is Artful Offerings Winter Piece Sampler. I love all their charts too. They're very I'm just amazed at people's imagination and the way they can put it on paper. I'm just blown away by some of that. So okay, so that's packed away in Shelby's project bag. This one is probably one of the first ones that I started back on when I opened the shop. I did a few smalls and then I thought, oh, I want to do a Christmas one. This is Stony Creek, Glory to the Newborn King. Doing it on 28 count antique linen. Which at the time I thought was a real challenge. It's amazing what you get used to. When I started, I thought, oh man, it's kind of hard to stitch around on this. And then you get really used to it, and then you do 32 count, and you think, oh yeah, this is a breeze. And then you do 36 and say, hey, no problem. And then when you go back to 28, it's like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? That's not an issue at all to stitch that. With any of Stony Creek's charts, there's a lot of half stitches. This one has a lot of, it has some beading in there. It's got some of the metallic rainbow gallery threads. And then it has this one here, which is Creek's Colors, but that's the red they suggested for Creek's Colors. I believe that's what I'm doing. I think I started before I actually got the threads because, I mean, a lot of it was DMC too, so I could start right away. But yeah, I think once I get, this thing wasn't the easiest. This is a baby Jesus in a manger. And yeah, it's just hard to keep track of all the different symbols and where you are. Once I, get that done, then going down the rest. I guess I should show you. These are just all the DMC threads that you need. So there's lots of thread there. And this is my progress so far. So it's turning out really pretty. And I like it on the antique white because it just gives that red a nice crisp color. But yeah, and once I get that done, but that's where I'm kind of working on. You can't really, and I think that's the hard part. It's kind of abstracty, so it's kind of hard to tell, where the baby's head is and whether it's the blanket. You really kind of have to keep going back to the chart to figure out what symbol belongs to what. It'd probably be helpful to go with marker and mark out the different colors with different marker. That's why, I mean, yeah, there's nothing like the color charts that the symbols are in color. It always kind of gives you that extra thing of staying on the right color, because often the symbols are in that color too. So, but I do like it. I think it's one that once I get going, like once I pull it out for one night, then I can't stop. Then I'll keep on going. That seems to be my style. I I don't do well at all if I had to switch every day to a different project. My couch would be a mess because I kind of hang my threads on the side of my couch, and then I, don't always put them back in the bag. And then the next, we got another project. It's like, oh, did that white belong to that one or that one? So yeah, once I get going, and I just kind of like the rhythm. Once I get going, I know where I'm at, and I can just pick it up and start going. So once I might wait till the end of October, November to get back to this one. It won't be done for this Christmas, but hopefully I can get it framed and ready to put out next Christmas. But hey, you never know. So that's a Stony Creek. This one is got this at market. Do a lot of the little sleds. I've done a lot of the Foxwood crossing ones. They're just such simple, quick projects. They're great for beginning cross stitching, doing it on the paper. So I'm trying to work myself through all the little sleds. This one, oops, upside down. Let's Go Sledding, 12 sled designs. And they're just little snowmen, houses, church, trees. So kind of working a way through those. So right now I am on, there's one that was Joy. So that's kind of just finishing up that one. But yeah, just a little strip like this, and you can make two of them. So out of a sheet, you could probably almost, yeah, you'd get 6 to 8 out of a sheet. So yeah, they work up really quickly. I have the sleds available, so if you're interested, I always have a fairly big supply of the sleds, and they come in small, medium, and large. These are meant to fit on the small one just because of the design size. But yep, got all my floss. I do not do floss cards or anything like that. I've always had everything on a bobbin. That's just kind of what I'm used to. It's quick for me because I can just pull them out of my box, stick them on a ring. I've got them. Yeah, I don't have to go back and organize it and put it back into anything. So yeah, I love the floss rings. I make the floss rings for different giveaways and things like that, but it's just not something that I've used. And I think part of it is going back to when you started, that those things weren't there back then. And I don't love the kitting process. I just want to start stitching. I know some you like to pick out what linen you're going to use and the thread, and I do like trying to decide what linen, but only to a certain length of time, and then picking out the threads and stuff. But my thing is like, I just want to get going. And so I do have a drawer that I've got quite a few that I've already got kitted. So if I want to start another project, I can just grab it. And I don't, because I would probably, if I had to start from scratch, then I would say like, oh, not today, I'll do it another day. So yeah, that's not my favorite process. My favorite is actually doing the stitching. Next one. This one is Artful Offerings again. Love sampler. So I think I started this one around Easter. So it says, love, we love because he first loved us. I like doing the monochromatic colors. Just, yep, one color. This one I'm using the sulky threads, which is absolutely amazing for doing any one color. Because I like the chunkier look, it's more than one strand of DMC. So it gives me that texture that I like, but the simplicity of only having one strand. So this is on parchment, which is kind of a different, it's more of a goldy color. It looks tan there, but it's definitely gold. And so I'm kind of partway across and partway up. It's repetitive, so a lot of it's repetitive. And I like doing lettering, so it goes fairly quickly. I just haven't pulled it out in a while. So I'm using sulky. So that was on 36 parchment, and I'm using sulky 1169. So yeah, it just comes on these spools, and I know you can tell the thickness of the thread. But yeah, really nice to work with. I've got a little sheep needle book that has a white sheep on there. So I want to try the white to see how well the white covers. If it, does a better job than 2 strands of DMC. So I want to try that. But I've done it in blue, I've done red, I've done black, and they all work really, really well. So that is something to think about when you're doing a one color chart, which is always, I think I'll always have like a one project that's one color. Like I really like Jacob from, I'm really bad with names. But some of his samplers, which I think almost all of his stuff is one color. But yeah, and we did the pears from Beez, the red work pears, the blue work pears, and she's just got a new one out. It was a peach pears. It looks like a peachy color. We said we might change that color. We'll see. But yeah, all of those work really well with the sulky thread. All right. Okay. This one I have shown. This one is just, I don't know. It was Handknit Holidays. I don't even really know. I think I accidentally ordered too many of these. So then I thought, okay, I don't love the colors on the front cover, or even, yeah, the wool bows, like not those bows. So then I pulled it out and thought, okay, like what can I do to change this up? So I started off and I did it on the petite point, which I thought was really cute because it looks like snowflakes. So this is 32 count. Love the hat because it looks like it's a hand knit hat. So this is Weeks Confetti. Then I thought, okay, it's got some oranges in there, so I'll do the sock in orange. Well, I don't like the sock in orange, so I'm going to pull that out. Then I thought, well, hearts are always red, so you can't go wrong with a red heart, and there is red here, so I'll do red there. Not loving that. Like I think I've done it twice, so I've done it in black because that's what it shows. Did it on black? No, didn't like the black. So I thought, okay, it looks like a row of ivy or what, holly. So I'll do it in green. Maybe if I throw some berries and stuff in there, that might perk it up a little bit. So it's just kind of been sitting here because I've got one more motif, which is a mitten over here. So I know I want to take out the orange sock, and then I've got the mitten. So I'm looking at some other variegated threads, what else kind of works with the hat, but it's not totally different. So yeah, kind of working away at that. So I'm really kind of want to do it just because I want to see what I can do with it and change it and how cute it's going to be when it's done. But sometimes what's up here just doesn't work out on the fabric. So it's sitting here looking at me every once in a while. It's kind of at the bottom of the pile, so I don't really see it that often. But yeah, that one I'd like to keep working away and get my imagination to kind of just add. It needs something. It needs something. Okay, this one is, and I've seen different people finish it, and I really, really like it. This is Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. This is just my paper copy, but really like it. But I also have the quilt pattern in the shop, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it look amazing to do the quilt and have the cross stitch piece with it. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to start in the cross stitch because I really, really like it. And you guys got to look at this, like, ta-da! That's it. That's all I have done. This is 32 count natural, which I really like the natural. I think all the colors will really look good on there. So it's easy to stitch because it's 32 count. I think I just started it because I was excited, and ploop, that's as far as it's gotten. So yeah, I'd like to get going on that, especially now that it's fall and stuff. The colors, I don't think I have all the colors here, so I've got to add some more to that. This is Teresa Koget's kind of the border print Halloween fabric that I made a bag out of, so it sits in there because it's fall. So yeah, would love to get back to that one too. So once I finish like the harvest one and some of those, then this is definitely one that I would like to do more on. This one has been sitting for a long, long time. Oh, there's that stupid fly. It's in the Home for the Holidays book, and it's the one on the back cover. 'Tis the Season, it's called. Oh, I don't want to show the chart, but so I'll show you where I'm at. So I've got everything done. It's just, and even though I live in Canada, I don't know how to speak much French. When we were in Paris, I mean, I thought, oh yeah, a couple of words do kind of come back, but I'm not so sure I want the French saying that's along the bottom. It doesn't really have any meaning for me. So I've seen some that have changed it over into something else, and I've put it out there a few times that if anybody has changed the saying along the bottom, if you could let me know and what it was. Now, I also have seen where they've continued on with the snowflakes, and the more I think about it, the more I think, I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue on and put snowflakes where the writing is and call it a day. That way, you don't have to worry about what it says. I don't have to try and figure out how to chart what I want to write. And I really want to get it finished so I can hang it up. So I'm pretty sure that that's what I'm going to do. It calls for threads that I tried to get, and they were just always out of stock. Belle Soie by Classic Colorworks. So I pulled the DMC and then matched it up to weeks, especially because the leaves, the holly and that, I wanted that variegated. I tried different reds for the bird and could never come up, get a variegation of different threads that I liked. So I combined two threads. Well, it didn't give me very much variegation at all, but it's kind of a unique color. I would have liked to have a little more variation in the cardinal, but he's still really pretty. So yeah, that one, not much to do on that one. This is on Flannel Flower by Fox and Rabbit. Really like this too. It's just nice, subtle. A lot of colors show up really nice because it has kind of a light greeny tinge to it, so it works really well. And white shows up, and I think I changed the white too because the white, it needed to be a very stark white in order to show up against here. But I don't think the white's supposed to overtake the picture. I think this one they used kind of a light green. Like now, since I started this, like over a year ago, I probably have a lot more linens in my shop that probably would have worked better, but I'm not going to do it over again. So I'm happy with it. But yep, just kind of have to finish that one off a little bit. This one too, like, oh, I feel so bad. This is a friend, sister's, who passed away and didn't complete this one. It's beautiful. I've shown it before. It's called Christmas Visit. So I've pretty well finished her, and there's a few errors in it. So I said to Wynn, like, do you want me to change, fix the errors? But we felt it kind of made it hers, that the errors are in there. And they're a little bit noticeable, but I think it adds to the character. What I'm struggling with are these shimmery bushes. So you can even see that it's puckered there, because what came in the box was some thread, and it said to take one strand of this and one strand of the white or whatever and stitch with that. Well, it's way too thick. So I've got to take that out. I can't really figure out which, like, she's got some on this side, but I can't really figure out what it is, because I tried then just using the metallic silvery stuff, and it doesn't give me this look. So somewhere along the line, yeah, something's missing. So I mean, I can take that out, but I need to yeah, just get back to that. It has like a whole doorway background and stuff too. That's a different kind of stitch. I think it's just like a, what do you call it, tent stitch. And she did it kind of, I don't know if you can see, like it's just a pale blue. But I'm thinking that, and Wynn's fine with that, that I think I'm just going to leave her just with the bushes, like the silvery bushes in the background, and not worry about that door frame and in the background. I have no idea what cloth linen this is. It's kind of like a Lugana. It's not a linen. It's nice to work on, and it's a beautiful shade of green. So a nice choice for her. She definitely picked out a great linen for this chart, because she looks absolutely beautiful on here. It never shows up as well on camera as it does in real life. But that one, yeah, I feel bad that I've had it for this long, and I told her, oh, it shouldn't take long because there's just a few bushes in her, but the threads kind of held me back. And actually the newborn king one, I came across some thread in there, some of the rainbow thread. And so I think that thread actually might work good for this. So I'm going to give that a go and see if that works. Next is my oldest WIP. This is a Bent Creek one. I've done a Bent Creek, and I've shown it Snap Calendar, I think it was called, and this one's called Snapperville. So they're all these little individual charts of little scenes. And in it, she takes like the black domes that you could buy, the fasteners for your clothes, and she takes those and puts them as doorknobs and different things in each of the charts. So really, really cute. I love that idea in the other big long one I did. This one's a little bit smaller. But I think what sold me was the linen that I picked, and I'm sure I didn't pick it. I probably saw this finished at... we had a big event in Toronto called the Creative Festival. So it was everything cross-stitch, scrapbooking, wool applique, sewing, just anything craft related. And I'm sure I saw it done there and said, okay, I want that. Now I've researched it, and as far as I can tell, it's an R&R fabric called Nantucket. And what makes it unique is that it has like a horizon. So it's blue on the top, which kind of makes it look like clouds, and then it's pinky along the bottom. And that is just so cool. So then you kind of put your house and stuff like halfway between both. And this one, I'll be sure to leave a fair size. Well, actually, it comes with a border that adds on later to if you put them all together. And the border says, "Teach us that we may feel the importance of every day, of every hour as it passes." And so that kind of makes it a little bit bigger, but I don't want to lose, like, because it's a small design, I don't want to lose the pink and the blue. I want a fair chunk of linen to show. But just a really cute design. I don't know why I didn't get back to it, but I didn't. Mostly Weeks thread. I imagine she probably helped me, but looks like I've kitted in DMC. I don't know. That's a lot of DMC, so it obviously uses a lot of bits of color. So you could easily use just your stash of whatever threads and just make do, because they're just farm scenes. So the cow's a little browner or the chicken's a little yellower. But yeah, those are all the threads. The closest, I did contact R&R. No, my supplier, Hoffman. I did contact them and put my name on the list that if R&R ever dies, Nantucket, as far as I can tell, that I want some, and I've never heard from them. I should call R&R themselves and see whether it's an option or if they've just continued it, because it would definitely be more work to dye something like that. Now, Atomic Fiber has one that I thought would look really pretty too, and it's Freeze. And it's pinks and blues and kind of purples, but you're not going to get that horizon look so much, but the pinks and the blues and stuff. It's a really pretty, like, I love Freeze. And every piece that you get is different, so you don't always know, like some have more blue, some have more pink, some sections, so you maybe would kind of work through it and pick a section. It is done on 32, so obviously I like 32 because I'm surprised at how many pieces I have that are 32. So that definitely is one that just kind of works better for me. But love, yeah, just love that idea. And I'm sure I seen it framed when I was there, and a shop that must have been vending at the show helped me put that together. But yeah, I'd like to work at that one too, and I think it'll come together. I don't know if I'm a faster stitcher now than I was then. I don't really know. I stitched a lot of nursery pictures, a lot of, yeah, nursery rhymes. I wished now, like I did them all on Ada, and I did them on a fairly high count thing. So they all ended up being really big. So there's no way that any of my children wanted to keep that and hang it up in their room. But if I had made something that was just, like 5x7, it would have been a nicer memento to kind of tuck away or just put on a shelf or something. So if anyone's thinking of doing baby samplers and stuff, that might be a tip for you. Don't make it too big, because styles change, and unless it's really like, okay, oops. Oh, sorry, my phone fell off, and I don't know how to edit. So, oh, sorry about that. I don't know, for some reason it popped. I guess that means it's time to move on and let's get going. Okay, just a couple more little thoughts. This is Pansy Patch Retreat House. It was released as an exclusive at Quilt Market. You could get it through the Yarn Tree, and then it came out with Lori at Pansy Patch. She's Canadian. Beautiful designer. Her new releases for August and that are gorgeous. And I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to tell you something. So this is on Vintage Country Mocha, 36 count, I believe, because I think she does most of her stuff on 36 count. Yeah, 36 count. And this is where I only have done one thread. It is kind of fun to work with one thread, but I think I just like the saturation stuff a little bit better if it was, and the texture if I had done two strands. But I wanted to try the one strand, so So yeah, so working away at that. I would love to get this finished too. I was working on it gung ho, and then I've kind of put it aside. So yeah, need to get back to that. Vintage Country Mocha is a nice overall linen, easily accessible, easy to work on, and kind of suits a lot of designs. And then I just realized that I have another design on the back. And I didn't pull the, oh yeah, I do have the chart. It is Summer Sweets Pin Keep. Yeah, these are adorable. Like so cute. I love them. And she's got several that kind of follow along that theme. So this is my finish on that. So yeah, I got to get him done with the strawberry and stuff in there. Actually, I really like anything that has strawberries. That's actually where my husband and I met. I was picking strawberries as a job, kind of after exams and in between exams to make some money. My mom came with me, well, probably maybe because I couldn't drive then, I don't know. And my husband was there with his brothers, and they were picking as well. Now, my parents and his parents knew each other, so my mom knew them a little bit, but we never said boo to each other there. And then kind of met back again at different young people's events and stuff through church and stuff. And then, yeah, kind of, we both went camping, I think, on a youth camping thing, and then met each other more then and got to know each other and yeah, started dating and yeah, got married a couple of years later. So strawberries is where it all started. So plus I just like the strawberries are just cute designs and I love strawberries. So yeah, so those are two that's in that pouch. Now this pouch, this is a Sheba bags design at Stitch North. I helped her out with getting some material and she said, oh, what do you want? And so I says, oh, well, I said, I would love like one of your bags. So I picked one out and this is the one I've got. Now in here, I cannot show you what it is because Pansy Patch Stitchery is doing our exclusive for the Advent box. So last year I did an Advent box. So it's for cross stitchers. There's 24 items in the box. So one a day. You open each one like December 1st, December 2nd, up until the 24th. Last year I had Tiny Modernist that did a design. And this year Pansy Patch done a design. So she sent me the design. She's stitching it for the pattern cover and stuff. But I really wanted to stitch it as well. So so I'm going to get going on that. So I can't show you because it's a surprise. So if you're interested in the Advent box, I will list that below. It's $150. And then if you need it shipped, it's $22, I believe, to ship it in Canada. Anyways, but I've got all kinds of unique different ideas. Some people made suggestions of what they liked and didn't like about it last year, so we've definitely taken that into consideration and have less finishing things and more projects, stitching things, and just, yeah, kind of picking up different really cute things and different ideas. So I'm excited about that. A lot of people have already registered and made their payment, and so they're good to go. I haven't put a number of exactly how many that I'm going to sell, but if you're really interested, I put your name in because I could stop it just like that, depending on, maybe not being able to get enough of a certain product or whatever. So, but it was lots of fun last year. If anybody, watched any of the openings and stuff last year, or if you go back, you'll see the openings on our Flosstube. But this year is definitely a step up from that. And so that's why there's a little increase in price too, because you take 24 days and divide it by 120, I think it was last year. I can only really spend about $4, the value had to be kind of around $4. And you know, like going to the store, you can't buy much for $4. So, so yeah, so really working hard at that, but really excited to offer that again. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll talk more about it in our next Flosstube, but check it out on my website and yeah, sign up. So yeah, those are my WIPs. I just realized I had another really cute WIP, but I will have to wait and show you that another day because I don't know where it is. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and watching the video. I hope if you like it, you'll subscribe and so that it'll give you notifications of when I do the next video. I'm hoping that once life gets into a little more of a routine, and that we can kind of get back to a little bit of a schedule to do a floss tube at least once a month. I know a lot of you enjoy it and look forward to it. Yeah, right now there's some quilt shows, so I'm kind of working on some projects for that. I've got finished a couple little wool ornaments from Buttermilk Basin that I'm going to be kitting up, and they are super cute. So I will show those on the next floss tube as well, plus on my website. And I'm probably going to do a video on Tuesday through the shop. So check that out too. Lots of places to catch up and see me. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.